What do you call the COVID variant that has an incubation period of 1 second? Instant coffee.
Real Facts, Season 3.
Hey Max, I loved seeing your bookshelf. I did not realize you had read so many books. I'm willing to take the challenge and I'm ready to do a book review myself. I want to share some books that I have in my house right now, talk a little bit about them. I want to start with a book that I've read a couple times that I would recommend highly to anybody interested in music. It's called How Music Works by David Byrne. If you know of the Talking Heads, then you know about this guy. He does an incredible job of going into such depth about so many different aspects and angles to music. He talks about his own career, from the business to the creative side. He also talks about the history of music, starting from the way beginning, and has some really interesting things to say about how technology shaped the direction that different musical forms have taken. This is a must-have. You don't even need to read it all the way through. You can pick and choose, use it as a resource. Highly recommend this book, How Music Works by David Byrne. Next, I'm going to talk about 3 books that I read this year that I loved a lot. The first is George Saunders' A Swim in the Pond in the Rain. Each chapter shows you a different Russian short story and then follows up with his wonderful voice engaging with that story. And it's really one of these books that's by writers for writers. He gives you all these ideas that you can take away and apply to your own creative practice. The stories he chooses are also incredible. From my understanding, this is really similar to a syllabus of a class he's been teaching at Syracuse for maybe decades. So it's material that he knows really well. So if you like George Saunders books, this might not be the same as the ones you've read, but the voice definitely is just as magical and wonderful. So I love this book this year. The next one is When Breath Becomes Air. Shout out to Caro. There's no way you ever watched this channel, but you recommended me this book and you bought me this book and I loved it. Little bit of a content warning on this one. It is heavy material. It's about a neurosurgeon in residency who gets a really awful prognosis. And it's about his process of coming to terms with his own mortality, finding himself on the other side of a conversation about mortality that he's had many times. And in the end of his life, he produces this. This is a true story. You can read this one really quickly. I read it in just a day or two, and it's haunting. The last one, no reactions from behind the camera. Austin,
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You love this book. This is part of a trilogy, but this is the only one I've read so far, but I'm looking forward to reading the others. This is The 3-Body Problem. It is awesome. It's pretty much the world paying for the delayed karmic effects of the Chinese Cultural Revolution, but in a sci-fi way that I can't even begin to explain. It's like kind of like a grown-up Chinese Ender's Game. That's all I can say. Loved this one. This will take you a lot more time to read than When Breath Becomes Air, but it's also very worth it, especially if you like science fiction.
Read the damn book.
Did you read all of them?
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about the books that I'm reading now or that I'm excited to read. So the first is Haruki Murakami, Kafka on the Shore. Believe it or not, I've never read Murakami. This is my first one. I'm only halfway through, so I can't give you a complete review on it, but I love his storytelling voice. There's just this organic magic to it. I will finish this in the next day or so. Very good book, Kafka on the Shore. After that, I have a few books that I want to read. One of them I've cracked open. It's called The Sum of Us by Heather McGee. It investigates the impact of race on American history and American laws in a way that is designed to unite the readers around a common problem. I'm less than 40 pages into it, so I can't say I know much about it, but so far it's a wonderful voice and very important subject matter that probably everyone should read. Some of Us, Heather McGee. I'll let you know what I think about it when I finish it. Next, I have a 2-in-1. Emma just gave this to me. These are the last 2 books in John Updike's Rabbit series. I read the first 2 books this year. I read Rabbit Run and Rabbit Redux. I love Rabbit. Poor Rabbit. Read the Rabbit books. They're so fun. It's like eating cake. And these are the last 2, Rabbit is Rich and Rabbit at Rest, together in one tome. Thanks, Emma. And last but not least, my cousin Naomi wrote this book. She just published it. It's called The Family. It's about 2 girls growing up in a mafia family in New York. I'm about halfway through it, and it's incredible. As soon as I finish the Murakami book, it'll probably be this one that I finish next. Whew. Wow, Max, it's cool that you got me to do that. Not only to talk about books that I like, but also to start to make the order of which books I'm going to read next. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think of them. Toss them down in the comments. Keep reading, Max. I hope you're feeling better from COVID. Real fans at home, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.
Real facts.